Drink Water podcast, and we have Taylor Swift isn't here yet.
She's not here yet, but
Probably
she's coming.
won't. Next episode, maybe.
She's coming. She's going to do a podcast.
She's going to do the pod.
Her first podcast, I think.
She wants to discuss what happened in Washington, D.C. with this.
At the front of the Israeli embassy.
The embassy, a man's burnt himself.
Yes.
To death, screaming, Free Palestine.
Yeah.
Historical.
It was one of those moments where he thought it was going to be not as painful. He thought he was going to be in like that Zen monk state.
He did a pretty good job.
He did a really good job.
All
he did was like, Free Palestine.
Yeah.
It was just a bit of that. He was like, this is hot.
Have to take a few deep breaths to get out.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
And he kept on saying it though.
It's crazy till he drops.
Yeah, he's not a monk or something like that. Who's that monk that did it? I don't even know.
We don't know. We're not going to remember. I've never known their name. But I've seen the photo.
We've seen the photo.
So it's probably the biggest protest. It's the most insane way to protest.
Yeah, light yourself on fire.
It gets your point across.
Yes.
People are like, I get it now.
It's a good scene.
It's a good visual image.
Yes.
That you can't forget.
No, I remember
You can see a million people marching, screaming flags. You're like, what are you even talking about?
Of course.
But that, you're like, whoa, okay, I get it.
That's what we needed. We needed like to have that in Newtown, like at the front of the Martin Luther King Aboriginal flag.
Yeah.
Someone lighting themselves on fire.
We're not suggesting that.
Not suggesting it, but just like, vote yes. Vote yes. I think it would have been a very different outcome had someone done that.
Interesting idea.
Yeah.
We'll let people comment, discuss that.
It could have been a very different outcome.
Could have been you, Alvo.
Yeah.
You'd have gone down in history.
I'm standing up for something.
Yeah. We're not actually suggesting that.
We're not actually suggesting that. But what we are pointing out is it's powerful.
It's extremely powerful.
But he did a really great job at getting his point across. He's like, what I'm about to go through is nothing compared to what the people in Gaza are going through right now. And I got there. He did a really great job of getting me there. I was like, oh, dang, maybe that is a point.
Great analogy.
Yeah.
To the suffering that's happening.
Of course. And you can get yourself to that place.
Millions of people. Yeah.
It's like, okay, there's so many more people that are going through far worse.
Then I'm not sure if it happened before or after, but now you were saying that Netanyahu has said that there's going to be a ceasefire.
It's done. We've won.
War's ending.
Yeah. It's going to end on Monday. We're a few days away from it being over.
Did he announce that just after?
So I can finally get my sleep in here.
Yeah.
And be able to have deliveries on Sunday without having the roads closed.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll still be protests for a while.
I think, it's not going to be a good one.
Yeah.
He's basically saying that there's going to be, they're just basically taking occupation of Gaza.
They're not going to reverse back to the border wall of Israel and be like, we did our job.
Yeah.
Good luck with everything.
Guys, we're not
Sorry
going to get
about
involved.
the mess.
Yeah, we're not getting involved. We're staying
We'll
away.
leave you a few four-wheel drives to clean up.
They're hanging around.
Yeah.
They're going to hang around. Because I guess you can't.
Start a true occupation.
Yeah. It's like, hey, what you guys did, we can't really trust you. So we're going to be here. You can come back, but we're going to kind of be watching over you again.
It's scary.
And that's going to be even weirder.
Don't know what's going to happen. At least the conflict will stop and the insane bombardments.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because all it'll be is like just a waiting game of, okay, how much building up are they going to need to do until they can fight back?
Hamas are they going to then do another attack?
Yeah. Is there going to be another attack? Because if I was them, I'll be like, okay, fine. We're going to have some guns in our face. They're going to be watching us closely now.
Like the West Bank.
Yeah, let's just make it chill. Let's just be chill. Let's slowly build up. We're not going to do anything crazy. We're not going to send any bombs over for a while. And then you just got to kind of surprise them, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe you wait 3 years. It's the whole good behavior thing.
They're on a good behavior bomb.
Yeah. Just be like the best friends.
Free hummus, huh? What else has been happening?
You have parties. You have parties with the soldiers. You get them really close. It's like, oh yeah, well, the Palestinians in Gaza seem to be really bouncing back. They're
playing basketball.
Playing basketball with them.
Have you heard that new track Yusuf just dropped?
Like
fire,
we can all be together.
Yeah.
And then bam, when you least expect it, fire back. and October 7th Part 2.
Part 2, but who knows?
That's the thing. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's literally what's going to happen. It's just you're just going to be waiting because it's not going to be forgotten. It's not going to be this thing where that's in the past. We're moving on.
Well, the civil war in Sudan doesn't seem to be stopping anytime
What's
soon.
going on there?
I saw it's unconfirmed, but they think that there was a 15,000 person massacre in some town.
Yeah.
But no one, they're all dead, so no one really knows. There's no journalists there. I don't think there's much internet. No outside sources to come say Wagwan.
Yeah.
They're kind of like, they walked that way.
That's the scary thing. So many people, like, if you're in this area where you can't really account for how many people, where people's whereabouts are.
Yeah, there's not much documentation or very villagey communities.
I would say if you were like a serial killer, you go to a village or a town or something like that and you just go wild.
Let's not give him ideas. I'm sure it's happened.
I'm sure it's it's basically
jokes,
happening.
folks. Jokes.
I know. Yeah, just you're some school shooter kid.
Yeah.
You go to like Sudan, South Sudan. There's like some bowl haircut kid. He's just living in some apartment. It's just on Reddit.
What else has been happening?
What else has been
Twitter's
going on?
been wild. The amount of fake news,
Yep.
conspiracy, blatant fake news for obvious clickbait.
It's scary.
It's getting terrifying.
You can just run with things, and
the fact checkers aren't even getting to it that much.
They try to get to it, but what'll happen is you've just run with something for like a day, and then a day later
and
it's like
gone.
that
It's
was
through the
all. That
feed
was
anyway.
nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh well, I basically saw Barack Obama and George Clooney with a child on a boat.
Yeah.
And I just have that opinion now.
And it's that funny thing about Elon. Who was I watching? Whitney Webb had a really good take on it, where he's coming across as this anti-government free speech for the people.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just like you guys.
Yes.
Live in my little 2-bedroom house that he posts.
Yeah.
Makes his little witty jokes.
Yeah, I like it.
He gets it.
I know.
I like this guy.
He's gotten me.
But where he's like
he's a bit racist. He's a bit kind of funny. Yeah.
Bit of dad jokes.
Based,
whatever that means.
Yeah.
But where he's owns the one of the biggest social media apps in the world, and he keeps calling it the Everything app.
Okay.
And people are doing these big comparisons to China's social credit score app.
Okay.
Where it's across, like, your car is linked to it, your apartment's linked to it. Every single thing is on the one app.
Yeah.
So it's scary where even though he's so he sounds like he's anti-centralized control, he's the biggest proponent of centralized control. And he's in so deep with the government directly.
Yeah.
He's their biggest contractor. So he's in arms with the government. So there's obviously, he doesn't have that much freedom to do what he wants. If he's that close to the government where they could just cut him off at any time, I'm sure he has some rule books that he's sticking firmly to.
I don't know what it could be in terms of like freedom
Where
on Twitter.
Sus.
Freedom on Twitter, though. Maybe they're taking your information and they have control. Or they have like documentation of who's saying what.
Yeah.
But
or it's this funny thing like, hey, free, say whatever you want. We're not free speech. Go crazy. We're not going to watch everyone who's watching.
Arrests.
Yeah.
Mass arrests like 10 years down the line.
It's scary.
Like, what?
What do you mean?
Going to your house.
Free speech. Alex shows out. You let me back on, you bitch.
It's scary because you can just see everything.
And you know that photo of him with Ghislaine Maxwell?
Who? Elon Musk.
Yeah, there's a famous one at a party, and he's being asked about it, and he says, she photobombed me. And then Whitney talks about she dug deeper into it.
Yeah.
And his brother, Elon Musk's brother, dated one of Epstein's assistants who lived at his mansion.
Wow.
So, like, the close ties. And he apparently had free access to all the Tesla and SpaceX factories and would do walkthroughs all the time.
Interesting.
And it's scary.
So there's a real link going on.
Huge link.
These people.
I even had this thing when I was thinking deeply about just Jeffrey and who this guy was.
Yeah.
And it was when you're like, who runs the world, blah, blah, blah. Is it a group? And it's like, imagine if he was
Yep.
He literally ran the entire... He was the top dog. He ran the world. When people are like, who runs the world? It's like, this guy literally ran the whole world. He was the most influential, richest man on the planet.
Very...
Because there was all these things. He was like best friends with all these Saudi princes. I mean, not princes. Saudi, whatever they're called.
Like sheiks and stuff like that. Yeah.
All through the Middle East. All the Russian oligarchs.
Really?
And it's like, who is this guy? Lived in the biggest apartment in New York. And it was almost this like, people like to think it's some like shadowy figure that you've never heard of.
Yeah.
It's like if there was a top dog, it's like you'd almost want to flex it. It's like, I'm going to even be in the public eye. I'm not even going to hide. I'm going to
He's hiding in plain sight.
I'm going to hide in plain sight. I'm not going to be some like Rothschild weird person. You never see me. I'm like some Mr. Burns on the hill.
Yeah.
You see me once every 10 years. So
This
I'm going to go to every party with every president. I'm with George Clooney, Leonardo DiCaprio. We're like good buds.
That's a vet, because I don't know what his net worth is or was.
I think it's completely unknown.
Yeah, and
they do. They're like,
unknown.
oh, it's maybe this or this, but it's like once you get to that level, it's like this trust that he's linked to. Maybe he owns it. We don't fully know.
Yeah.
So it's like it's really unknown, whatever the hell it was.
It's a very interesting take.
Yeah.
People always talk about this how just faulty that Forbes list is.
Yeah. Completely false.
Literally like
a joke.
I think they say, like there's probably 100 people that are richer than Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Yeah. And they're just
there's
not
like so many trillionaires out there that you just don't even really know.
Yeah.
And that people have their money so hidden. What is it? There's more money hidden in offshore accounts than there is money known.
Right.
They think. They're pretty sure. So it's...
God.
Terrifying.
But it just makes sense.
Yeah.
Because why would you want to tell people how much money you're making?
Yeah, and you don't have to.
Yeah,
you're in that day and age where you can hide it.
Because it's so funny, like, we did it with Scott Morrison and stuff last episode.
We looked up, he's worth $55 million.
Yeah. But you look up, like, Jeffrey Epstein, and it's just like, he's worth $9 million. It'd just be great.
These islands worth, like, $20 million.
You're like, yeah, but the island's $20 million.
So that's weird.
But I guess, maybe it's the homes that they own. But maybe they're doing it smart. They're not doing, like, the whole American gangster thing. I'm not going to buy the island that's $100 million.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get the penthouse that might be, $200 or $300 million.
It's so funny, like Andrew Tate always says, I don't own anything.
Yeah.
A trust that is linked to a trust that this other trust owns it.
And I guess you're forced to maybe not have as flashy a lifestyle as you'd like.
Well, you just keep it all. It's all business. You're just a businessman.
You're just a businessman.
This is a business jet. This isn't my private jet that I'm taking. It's just work, business work.
But I guess it all just comes from the power.
But that's all just personal.
Yeah.
Completely personal. And you just lie. It's a business flight to New York.
Yeah.
With all the supermodels. Business. It's work.
Yeah, I guess it just maybe comes down to the lifestyle thing.
Yeah.
You probably just don't flex it.
Yeah.
Because I'll say if he is worth, let's say, billions and billions of dollars or hundreds of billions of dollars, and he's the most influential man on earth, wouldn't he kind of be a little bit more out there?
I'd love someone to get to that level where it's like they have a $1 billion gold chain that's like on the back of a truck. Like just the most obnoxious wealth ever. I want that. I want to see that again.
I think that exists in Dubai and in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And it's good because it can exist there, as a lot of people that live there say, because there's no crime in the Middle East, bro. No crime in Dubai.
Have $1 billion chain. No one's going to take it.
I can't wear my watch in London.
Someone will come and stab me in the heart for my watch. Like, I don't know if it's that bad.
I walk out in the streets of London for 10 minutes.
They will drop out of the trees and they will stab me in the heart for my cheap $40,000 watch. With my 10 security guards won't even be able to protect me.
I can't wear nice shoes when I'm in London.
It's like Jeffrey Epstein just walking down the street there.
But yeah, we need to have more. Floyd Mayweather does a great job.
Yeah.
He does a pretty good job. Some of the royalty in Dubai do a pretty good job.
But if they're Muslim, they can't wear gold. So
I don't know. I see a lot of them wearing gold.
Maybe they're not.
Yeah,
they're bad Muslim.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe they've found like a loophole there.
Yeah.
But speaking about bad, I don't even know. The couple that were killed.
Yeah, so horrific news.
Probably this is also another topic on where does all this money come from? That's the big question.
What do you mean?
Who is this murderer police officer? That's what every single news station is saying. Who is this guy?
Right.
Because apparently he was an influencer.
Bo Lamar?
Yeah, something.
Condon.
Yeah, Bo Lamar Condon, isn't?
From Balmain.
Yeah, he worked for the New South Wales Police, and he was a micro-influencer. He had around 20,000 followers, and he travelled the world.
Yeah.
Exotic locations. He was on private jets. He lived a great life. And
he somehow, for 5 days, shot 2 people in cold blood.
Yeah.
Somehow, I think that's where the cops are going to get screwed over, because it seems like they came to the house and then just left.
Really?
Because I heard them say that they had reports of gunfire.
Right.
But then they didn't go in and find the blood for like a few days. So they've gone knocked and then just, I don't know, maybe he's picked up the call because he was on duty at the time and be like, I'll check on it. Something crazy like that's happened that they're going to have to admit soon, and it's going to be extremely embarrassing.
Imagine being a police officer. You knock on the doors like, hey, we heard gunshots. Like, no, there weren't any. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we'll leave.
And I'm sure it does happen a lot with like like people playing movies loud and parties, where it would happen more than you think. I think something crazy. I heard a gunshot or something. Maybe check it out. We're just watching a movie.
Maybe he literally puts on Bad Boys. He comes to the door. He's like, dude, I'm watching Bad Boys.
Leave.
You can leave. But then he's a police officer. That makes it so much worse. It's like, dude, it's good.
Yeah.
I'm a cop. I'm watching Bad Boys. I'm at my boyfriend's house.
Nothing going on here.
There's nothing going on here.
Just let off fun round.
Yeah. Unless it's the whole...
There's kids with fireworks running. Quick. Something like that. But yeah, it was very shocking to the community. It's never really happened.
Yeah, a police officer doing like a double murder.
Decades.
Yeah.
And so blatantly to white people.
Yeah, to just kind of nice white gay people.
Yeah.
They got killed.
Attractive. They were very attractive. Perfect.
Everyone looks beautiful in this story.
He looks a bit weird.
He looks good. He's good looking. Wormy. He's good looking.
Ish.
He's a micro-influencer.
Micro-influencer.
Do you know what I mean?
And I think it is this thing as well where it's... And
if they were ugly, it wouldn't be as big of a story. There was like a ranger.
I'd be like, I'm back to Taylor Swift.
Yeah. If they were fat.
Yeah.
There was like... The 3 of them combined, probably like 12.5% body fat between them. Do you know what I mean? They were just perfect specimens. Yeah, I think people like to look, and they were worried.
Yeah.
Flight attendant.
Because the guy was saying, and you'd feel bad as a friend, that he would wake up and swear someone was staring at him.
Really?
From his bed, so he's been stalking him.
Dang.
And and he got a photo with Khloe Kardashian a week before.
Also, he's a great stalker as well. He's a celebrity.
And I wonder how he finds them.
He's a celebrity crasher.
He's obviously using all the police resources to stalk celebrities. So that's going to be another thing for the police.
I didn't even realize that.
It's like, how do you guys not realize that maybe this famous stalker influencer might be using some of your stuff? Obviously.
I'm so surprised that doesn't happen more often.
Yeah, it probably does. But I think it's this thing as well where it's going to be this new mental illness potentially of stans.
Oh, okay, yes.
So it's kind of like the John Legend.
What's that?
So he got killed.
Oh, John Lennon.
John Lennon.
Yeah. John Legend got killed.
John Lennon, it's like his super fan who would write him letters and all this stuff, just shot him for some reason and would stalk him. And it's almost this like animalistic urge that I'll call them a stan. Everyone knows the Eminem song.
Yes.
Where they were both had like 10, 12,000 followers on Instagram. Yeah. So they're kind of micro famous. Well. He was a pretty famous, the other guy, news reporter. So he obviously was obsessed with them.
Yeah, he's obsessed. It's like, and I think that happens in the Stan universe. This weird, like, obsessive compulsiveness.
And it's beyond jealousy. It's not like some weird domestic violence necessarily. It's more this, like, stalker.
This is obsessive behavior.
And it's like this weird thing where once they stalk them for enough, it's like they kind of become prey. And it's like what ends up happening, they almost just like, it's like the final line just kind of comes out of them. It's terrifying.
I wonder how stalking's changed with like the
social media.
Social media. I wonder if there's been like a rise.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just even just like the idea of going down that path to be like, let's say they've been stalkers forever. It's like, I followed this girl, I followed her home, I followed this guy, I followed him home, I stand out the front of his window. But it's something that
there's the show You that's all about it. I'm not sure if you've watched it.
I haven't watched it.
Where he stalks girls, and then they kind of fall in love with them.
Right.
And then he like kills them accidentally. But then it happens so many times, and the only reason that you know that he's accidentally killed them because you're listening to his internal monologue the whole time.
Okay.
But if you weren't, he would just be this weird serial killer, even though he is.
Yeah.
Which is why it's a really interesting show, because you show that it is this weird mental illness where they're like tricking themselves into thinking that this just happened or something.
What about the killing? That's the part where it becomes a bit weird.
She woke up, he started screaming, and like, I said, be quiet, and then it just went off, and then it's like, and in my head, then I was like, then he ran at me, and then it just happened.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't want this to happen.
Oh, you're right. What would have happened?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a little bit of.
He's at the end of the bed staring at them.
Yeah, he's staring
again,
at them,
as he's probably done countless times.
One of them is like, "Nah, this is enough." Gets out a knife or something like that,
or just wakes up and is like, "What the hell?" Screams,
runs at. He quickly gets his gun. Bam, 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 bam. Protects himself. He's like, "What have I done? I literally was just being a creep.
Yeah,
I was just being a weirdo, and they ran at me.
That wasn't meant to happen.
Yeah, this literally, I didn't mean to kill him.
Because he obviously hasn't planned it, because it's probably one of the worst murders in history.
Really?
He left his registered gun shell casings all through the house. So it's like, even if they never found the bodies, there was no way he was getting away with it.
Dang, really?
Blood everywhere.
Was there blood everywhere? Oh, okay.
He's like rented a van and gotten weights and like driven up and down with a friend.
With a friend?
Who's like testified everything.
Whoa.
So he couldn't be more.
Dang, who's this friend?
It was like an ex-girlfriend or something.
Goodness.
But she's like didn't even know what was happening.
Didn't know what was happening. Yeah. It's like, we're just going to drive to Goulburn.
Well, she had a farm there.
Oh, so it was her farm.
Next to it, something, I don't know, something along those lines.
That's crazy. It's a very fascinating murder.
Yeah.
It's like, because again, most women are really into these like true crime stories. This is as true crime as it gets.
Yeah.
It's just so fascinating.
Yeah.
Just police officer kills two out of jealousy. There's a lot that you can really like grab onto, I think, with this story. But yeah, that does make sense of, I didn't even mean to kill.
But I think that's the thing where it's like a mental illness.
Yeah.
Because you did.
Oh, I don't think...
And that's the mental illness where it's like, but I didn't. In his head.
Yeah.
But it's like, what do you think was going to happen? You're broken into someone's home.
Yeah,
Of course they're going to attack you. So you have done it.
Gosh.
And that's the whole episode of You, where he has like 4 girlfriends and he ends up killing all of them.
Because they leave him or something? Or?
No, because just something happens that leads... He's stalking them even when he's like dating them. And then he almost gets caught. And then the friend, then he acts to kill her. And then he just ends up killing all these girls. Dang. And it just keeps happening. And he's like, oh no, not again. Good show.
Stalking is such a scary thing.
Yeah. And it's happened so much. So many girls have just...
It happens all
I'll
the time.
work with some guy, he'll stalk them,
yeah.
message them, and then they end up just killing them. It's just so horrific.
That's the one that happened recently from the call center.
Yeah, there was that huge case.
One. That was insane.
It was just
that
such
was like
a waste.
COVID or something.
Yeah, it's just so sad.
And it was like, hey, I'm at the police. This guy's stalking me. And it's like, yeah, we'll try. What can we do, bud?
What are we going to do?
Come on, love.
Yeah.
What are we going to do here? He's going to be fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
He just comes in and stabs her. That was a crazy one.
It's insane.
I can't even understand that. How deep a sleep was that mother in?
Yeah.
She's in the next room. Somehow just wakes up and is like, I didn't hear a guy break her window and stab her a million times.
I guess you just door shut. You never know.
That's true. Maybe listen to a podcast.
Bring back guns, people.
Yeah.
Pauline Hanson, bring it
Let's
in.
bring it back. Be like, yeah, it wouldn't have happened if she had a gun. She probably would have. She would have just, nothing would have changed. And the guy would have also just shot her.
Yeah, but still.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
What's the answer to stalking?
I think...
What's the way around it?
Well, it'll be precedents in cases like this, where if there's some level of evidence, you will be charged. And I'm sure there already is. So I guess the cops are lazy.
Maybe they have to be more harsh on stalkers.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're getting away with it. Like, let's say you go to the police, it's like, this dude's stalking me. If that dude turns up anywhere near you, or at your house, he's going to prison. Sorry, for probably like 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years.
Needs to be more fear.
Yeah. That has to be more fear. Because what happens, I think, if you get caught, it's like, hey, be careful. I've never heard of anyone going to prison for stalking.
I think it's that we have so much freedom still. So it's like, hey, I'm just driving home this way.
Yeah.
Prove it.
Yeah, of course.
What are you going to do?
Of course.
I'm driving through the street. Is that illegal?
If you've got a restraining order, and I think if you break that within a certain distance, I think there should be severe. It's not hard for me to, let's say, avoid Balmain.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If I know that if I cross the
I think even getting a restraining order is pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't really know them.
True.
I think it's easy if they're your partner.
Yeah.
And you've been, like, beaten up. It's going to be so easy.
Yeah.
But when it's just some random person and it's kind of he says, she says, and you're like, oh, we have one video, but I don't know, he could just be passing through.
Dang, I guess, yeah, it's such an awkward area.
Don't know what you can do.
Because you get these people being like, he's stalking me. And
I think it's that thing.
I'm just going to work.
To make the world safer, you just have to take away so much freedom.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing, it probably doesn't happen in China.
It doesn't.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably isn't happening there. They've got more control over their people.
G-Ping, send Albo a little email.
Literally. I don't think that's ever happening.
I'm sure it is.
I don't know.
A lot of people.
I don't know. Also, wouldn't have been happened because they would have been arrested for being gay.
Yeah.
The 3 of them. So that also wouldn't have happened.
You can't be gay in China?
No.
That's a big claim.
No, you literally can't be. They've shut down the last LGBTQ center. There's no more. It's illegal.
That's a center. Maybe you can't advocate it publicly, but...
I'm pretty sure it's illegal. I don't know. We're
Drinkwater Podcast.
Drinkwater Podcast.
Twitter.com. I'm never going to call it X. I'm going to keep calling it
You're going to keep calling it Twitter. Yeah. That's the world. Maybe a bunch of the stuff we said was all lies.
Yeah.
And we're going to say that. And I think the guy who set himself on fire was Tibetan. And I think it was to protest China.
It was to, stop the invasion of Taiwan.
Yeah, and the truth was he was actually being stalked by his ex-boyfriend, and the police weren't doing anything about it. And he's like, okay, if you're not going to do anything about it, he's stalking me.
It's new material? Too soon.
That was his name. Hello.
I don't get it.
Too soon, Lee.
Oh. This comedy podcast?
Oh, yeah, quickly, before we end, you did comedy for the first time. What was it? This might turn into a comedy podcast, seeing as you're a comedian now.
Yeah. It was fun.
You would do it again?
100%.
Yeah. How did it actually feel?
I just wish I had more jokes.
Okay. Have you been writing?
Nah.
Okay.
It just goes so quick.
Yeah.
When you're up there, you just spur 3 jokes out, then it's, oh gosh, I was like 10 seconds.
Yeah, literally.
And you're like, now what?
But do you think you got the bug? Like, you kind of enjoyed that rush?
I'm glad I just got it done.
Yeah.
The first, because now it will be a lot less scary.
Yeah.
And you know what it's like up there.
Yes.
And you can feel it's kind of enjoyable.
Okay, so you're feeling that addiction that most of the comedians
I wouldn't say addiction, but
you get what the hype's about? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little confidence boost, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
It's your turn on the mic.
Oh, that's true.
It's like a town hall, public speaking.
They're forced to listen to you for 5 minutes. If you are, that's why it attracts so many mentally ill people. Because it's just like you're forced, a group of people are forced to listen to you for 5 minutes.
You could do it on the side of the street. And people will just walk
buddy,
past.
Get the mic down.
Get them.
Enough.
Keep it down.
I don't want to arrest you.
But I like the scene as well. They're all funny.
Yeah,
it's nice funny just to see the comedy scene.
Yeah. It's the best scene in the world, the Sydney comedy scene.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's good.
Really tight-knit community.
If you're a comic.
Yeah.
They're very welcoming.
Yeah.
Extremely welcoming.
And I wonder how this is going to change the podcast when you start doing comedy more and more.
Yeah. Well, I did. That was probably one of the biggest things. One of the most welcoming communities I've ever seen.
Yeah, okay, that's nice.
Like insane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I've gone to the art scene, extremely unwelcoming.
Yeah.
What other scenes are there?
let's say the music
scene,
skate
unwelcoming.
scene.
Music scene, I don't even know what the music scene is. It's all backstage.
I find the music scene's very unwelcoming.
Unwelcoming. Everyone, so much ego. And
so much ego.
And like better than...
Yeah. DJ scene. I think even the band scene. Most scenes that exist are sporting scenes. Hobby scenes. Hiking.
So gated and unwelcoming.
Yes.
Surly.
Yeah. That's funny that you...
making fun of myself.
Yeah, no, it's good.
But it's so true.
That's so funny that you...
Comedy scene were the most welcoming, nicest
Yes.
people I've ever met.
That's so funny. It's so funny that you admit that because I've always thought
they would literally be like, hey, just come sit at the table and just listen.
Yeah, shout out to Sydney Comedy.
Shout out to Sydney Comedy. I reckon it's going to pop.
Yeah, I hope it does. There's a lot of characters.
Yeah.
Again, like
a lot of funny people.
A lot of funny people in the scene.
What's it called? Go to SS. What was it called?
Scruffy Murphy's.
Scruffy Murphy's. Yeah.
But Drinkwater Podcast.
Drinkwater Podcast. Bit of a sad episode, but Mardi Gras on the weekend, so everyone get ready.
Up for it. Yeah.
Make up.
Do you know
the cops are going to march. Drinkwater Podcast.
Peace out.